Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 87. I don't have much of an intro. Let's just get to it. Last time we did the Seathwater Terminus area. We fought the Fire Prelate and the Magma Worm. It gave us a heart. We should check next time we're at a Grace the next... ow! Ooh, that one burns a lot. I'll check the Dragon Communion Church, because we got a dragon heart from that kill, and usually if you get a dragon heart from kill, you also unlocked a new spell, so... Though it wasn't a named magma worm. And if you remember, magma worms are hunters of dragons who ate too many dragon hearts and transformed. But because you always, if you want to be a dragon in a Souls game, it always goes wrong. You become a crappier version of a dragon, one that crawls on its belly. Because, you want to fly? Too bad, your wings are vestigial. Come on, give me the item. Some golden runes here. I should really be wearing that. Get my mana back. Or health back, rather. Alright, so coming up this slope over here, there's some ruins, and there's a certain... And there's a sword monk statue here. One we can crack open if we can find a sufficiently big enemy. Oh. They really don't want me having a moment, do they? As I narrowly avoid all their attacks. Oh, we got our stuff back. Found a spiked club. There's some ruined shacks in this area. The hatchet is fast. Roiling magma. That is a sorcery. Let's take a look at that, even though it doesn't look like it would be, given its color. One of the sorceries developed from the magma of Mount Gelmir. Fires a lump of condensed magma that explodes a short delay after hitting the target. Charging enhances potency and further delays the explosion. After discovering the ancient hexes of Gelmir, Rykard, son of Queen Renala, brought them back into practical use as new forms of sorcery. So he rediscovered basically magma sorceries. He found a way to create immense heat with it. And as you may have noticed with that specific spell, it had a faith and int requirement. So, hexes in this game take both, it looks like. And don't we have other hexes? Yep, Ancient Death Hex. So, hexes, kind of reminiscent of Dark Souls 2. They take a combination of faith and int. Though they tend to lean towards the int and have a faith requirement. Going pure split may not be your best bet unless you're also using fundamentalist incantations, but that's a lot of spells to juggle. Alright, so those creatures scream, and that alerts a bear. And we don't like the bear, but the bear's going to be helpful. Ow. With that giant, ever-lingering hitbox of his. Go. He just decks me. Yeah, I don't like the bears. It wasn't obvious. He just has so much health all the time. Come on. He won't let me crit the head. Oh, goodness. Well, it still hit him. Oh, that did way too much. Getting stuck on the environment. Oh, God. Just poise break already. Rune Bears, my least favorite. Didn't really have the best setup for him, but still a chore. Very much a chore. But we can loot the inside of the statue at the very least and get 3 of those level 6 smithing stones. Oh, come on. There we go. Should have probably focused those little guys with little zippy spells and then killed the rune bear, but oh well. Well, we could do a little bit of that now. He was unaware. I think that did bonus damage as a result. And his body ragdolls below. Let's see what's on this noble body. Gravelstone. 1 whole gravelstone. That's it. That's all we get. But there is a beetle over here, which is weird because I swear he was more in the middle of the path. There we go. But he gets us our flasks back, which I don't think we really need that bad. Possibly you should run past the bear and kill that thing during the fight, the beetle, to get your flasks back, but seems like a horrible way to divert your attentions, because just around this corner is another grace. You don't really need it. I guess if you're playing co-op, that's where it becomes far more helpful, so you don't have to rest at the grace. Alright, we found a pulley crossbow. Let's take a look at it. Crossbow made with pulleys and power springs. The complex mechanism, which required advanced mathematical and mechanical understanding of craft, was likely made by a certain genius who learned Golden Order fundamentalism. One touch fires a volley of bolts. Be warned, large stores of bolts can be quickly spent. So it has a modest 16/16 strength dex requirement. If you want to build up status with a crossbow, that is your crossbow of choice, because it hits multiple times in a quick burst. There's lots of people who will stick that in their left hand with the sleep bolts, and they will... Hold on. Oh. There we go. Look at these little imps. They're not imps, they're tiny misbegotten. And if actually, I've never taken a good look at these little ones before. But I just realized, and this was probably obvious to other people, these tiny little ones that I always considered, they're actually kind of spindly. I'm not going to be able to flip that one over. But my goodness, they look like Bach. So I guess of the different kinds of, not misbegotten, the demi-humans. Have I been saying misbegotten? I mean demi-humans. I never noticed. I always thought Bach kind of had his own unique model, but I never noticed these little hooded rat things are shaped like Bach. I wonder if you anger Bach if he fights like one of them. That's really sad to think about. Let's continue. They had a herd of goats that I was slaughtering, and they got mad. Rightly so. But up ahead, there's more of them. And an abductor virgin that's headless and pissed. I don't want to lock onto them. I always have the lightning halberd for those boys, because it's nice to have a lightning option on a strength build. Because it adds 160 lightning damage to it, and that's, for some reason, substantial. I don't know what their absorption is versus lightning, but it's not very good. So I feel like either you get most of it, or maybe it's in such a way that you get all of it. So we have a big demi-human chieftain up here. So we have this town here. Get on the roof. There's demi-human. So I never thought that these small ones were kind of the medium size, I guess. Good old sweep attack. Gotta Smash the little ones, or stab them, because pickaxe. Don't know why I'm using this weapon combination. I guess it doesn't make too much of a difference, but we have this hermit village here. And the craftsman shack. So it seems that Melgelmir had a keep, or a castle. The Your Beautiful Prattling Pate. We're going to need that for later. That's a quest item. And it's unclear, but it is a quest item. The Herodus. Herodias? I'm just saying it wrong, aren't I, over and over. Herodas Glintstone Crown. One of the Glintstone Crowns bestowed upon Rea Lucaria scholars whose pursuits were deemed worthy increases intelligence and endurance to the detriment of FP. The Crown of Herodus was granted to scholars who engaged in nomadic study far away from the academy. Or study away from the academy. So kind of like the Haima Glintstone Crown, it's a good pick for the strength endurance builds. It'd be nice to get extra equip load. In my opinion, the Haima Glintstone Crown is kind of eh. I like this one. I like this hat. I don't like the idea of missing out on max FP. But you see, the other crowns are kind of comically large, while these two are better. Like, this one is the best of the Glintstone crowns, in my opinion. Honestly, I feel like it would be a pretty good fit for this character, but we're going to stick with the bandages, because what is this guy doing? Oh no. Goodbye. What a horrible way to go. Where's the other one? There he is. Well, he just died from it. That's okay. We'll just top off. So, we saw, strangely enough, a Glintstone crown wearing wizard, and it looked like he was ministering, or maybe teaching the demi-humans. Now, we have known that there's a little bit of a connection between the demi-humans and the Academy of Rea Lucaria because of the demi-human queen staff that we've seen in the past. I think we've seen 2 demi-human queens that wield that staff, so that sounds about right so far. And sure enough, when we look up here, we see more wizards. Let me get out the telescope. Wizard there, wizard there. I think there's another wizard off to the side. Yep, there he is, chilling. Out of sight, out of mind. And there's a demi-human queen. She has her staff. And she's covered in tattoos. She's got a veil, but she also has a crown. Very much a queen. Here's an item I forgot to loot. We finally, legitimately have our starting set. I never realized the Errant Sorcerer robe came altered. That's funny. Ah, memories. Good times. Good times. If it didn't offer such low resistances... Actually, it offers good elemental resistances. Okay, what else do we have here? I still haven't upgraded the Vulgar Militiaman. Who do I bring for this fight? Let's try the Mad Pumpkin. Why not? So we've angered Demi-Human Queen Maggie. Oh. Oh! That shotgun spell almost killed me. That was intense. Maybe I should have put on the wizard robe. Whew. But that was the shotgun spell that did that. The shotgun spell seems far better for casters and NPCs in the game than it does for the player. I'll have to test it again, but it doesn't seem very good by my metric. We gotta piss her off so she drops the staff. Eh, this might do it. Ooh, that was a part of her iframes. Oh, and the Frostbrock got her in the end. Thank you, Pumpkinhead. What a good boy. And we get our last memory stone. So, sure enough, we are at 10 memory slots there in the middle above the spells. What are we going to use that last slot for? I don't know. We might get Cannon of Haima back. Kind of miss it. Or maybe the Great Sword. I do like the Great Sword sorcery. So, strangely enough, we have a Lost Side of Grace here. It is the Primeval Sorcerer Azur. We don't remember seeing his likeness at the Academy, but he is covered in glintstones. And he's this sickly gray color. I don't think he's moving. He seems entirely still. If there isn't any movement, it's on his clothing, not him. Let's try to talk with him. His hand moves and presents to us Comet Azur, a legendary sorcery. See that gold color on the icon? And then he takes his hand back, and that is all he has to say to us. Now, we could continue with Mount Kelmir, but I feel like we should spend the rest of this episode and do the questline associated with this fellow. So let's get to it. But first, we'll read the description of that sorcery. Legendary sorcery devised by Azur, Primeval Sorcerer. Fires a tremendous comet in a torrent akin to the distant starry expanse. The place said to be the origin of glintstone. Hold to continue releasing the sorcery's power. When Azur glimpsed into the primeval current, he saw darkness. He was left both bewitched and fearful of the abyss. So he saw something. Something very eldritch. Something very horror. Something very H.P. Lovecraft himself. Just his face in the dark expanse just shut him down. Alright, well, now we're going to go out of our way and talk to Selen after finding a legendary sorcery. Because that seems noteworthy, doesn't it? Oh, we should also equip our new spell. We're not a very good sorcerer, but we're trying. We're striving. Alright, what to learn? Let's see. Terra Magica. I feel like we should swap this one for Carrion Greatsword. Well, actually... Shucks. Oh, I don't like the order that's in. We'll do... Slicer, then Piercer, then the War Crimes. Then we will get our Scholar's Armament and then Starlight. Shucks, no Cannon of Haima. If I was a sensible sorcerer, this would be my kit more or less, but I'd probably remove Scholar's Armament and Starlight, and that would get us Cannon of Haima plus whatever pick we'd want. I would probably personally do Ambush Shard. Because if you combine that thing with the bow range talisman, it has stupid high range, and as long as you can lock onto a target, you can kind of snipe players who aren't paying attention for PvP. It's useful when people are hiding in dumb places, but you can lock onto them. I said I wanted to try out the shotgun spell, so I think we're going to get rid of Starlight for a moment and try Crystal Burst. I don't think we'll have much luck with it, but might as well. But yeah, Carrying Greatsword. I love Carrying Greatsword. Is it good? I like it. That's the important part.
There you are, my apprentice. Shall we commence the lesson?
Yes, we shall commence the lesson. She has nothing to teach us, but we can show her Azur's sorcery.
What's this sorcery, my apprentice? Ah, then you have seen Master Azur. Master Azur was a founding glintstone sorcerer, and my first teacher. A stern judge of men. But he must have seen something in you. You make us both proud. We can speak more later, my apprentice.
Tell me your story.
If you recall, I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria. It was for attempting to restore the primeval current of Glintstone sorcery. The toothless pedantry peddled by the Carian royal family can rot for all I care.
She's not a fan of Carian
Glintstone
royals.
sorceries that open our minds, unbound by terrestrial taboos, no matter what we give in return. My apprentice, I presume nothing. Teacher and student are not bound to tread the same path. But hear me out, my apprentice. I need your help to restore the primeval current of Glintstone sorcery. Perhaps this is a journey we could take together.
She seems almost bashful when asking us, but she is fairly independent as an individual and doesn't want to assume we would intertwine our fate with hers, but we're going to go through with it because we want to see what happens. So let's journey together.
I thank you. This pleases me. It's been far too long since I found a fellow kindred spirit. You must have a fabulous teacher.
Alright, she has a favor to ask.
I need your help, my apprentice. Master Lusat is another founding Glintstone sorcerer. And like Master Azure, he was banished from the Academy. Now he languishes in prison somewhere. My apprentice, can you find Master Lusat? With this Glintstone key, you should be able to cross the boundary that encloses him.
Celian Sealbreaker.
I need him to restore the primeval current of Glintstone sorcery. He's nigh a child of the stars. Such is his body now. After his expulsion from the Academy, I heard that Master Lusat returned to his home, a place called Celia in the eastern Caelid wilds. Thinking about it, I obtained the Glintstone key I gave you from a Celian sorcerer. It wouldn't be too much of a leap to suppose he's still cooped up nearby.
So he's somewhere near Celia. Now, we already know about the dungeon behind Celia. We've done it. It had the 3 rotten crystallians in it, and a seal we could not get by. And we already know that these keys are good for seals, because we got into the Academy of Rea Lucaria. But let's read its description. Glintstone key received from the sorcerer Selin, capable of breaking the seal that keeps Master Lusat confined. Celia, town of sorcery, can be found in Caelid. This key was said to have been found in the possession of a Celian sorcerer. So, everything she said is in that item description, in case we forgot. But we're going to take a moment and look at the 2 staffs that are associated with these names, Lusat and Azure. So we've met Azure already. Staff of the primeval Glintstone sorcerer Azure. Only those who have glimpsed what lies beyond the wisdom of stone may wield it. Reduces casting time of all sorceries, but consumes additional FP. And this is the same thing, but flavored blue instead of green for Lusat. And the bonus it gives is that it enhances the power of all sorceries, but consumes additional FP. On my pure sorcery build, I like to wield this in my main hand and the Azure in my offhand. So that way you get the big damage, but you also get the fast casting speed. If you combine that with the Radigan icon, then you get maximum casting speed, which is a virtual rating of 70 points of dexterity. You do big damage. Very costly, though. Your mana pool doesn't go very far, but you hit like a truck, and you can hit with good timing and speed. So let's go to the Celia Hideaway and make our way to that barrier. The spell barrier. My inventory. There we go. I'm already regretting having taken off that spell from my bar. Having a lantern to light my way feels so bad. Let's hit this guy with Crystal Burst. Don't know if it's good or not. It killed him. Let's try it uncharged. See how fast it comes out. I feel like we would need to blow it on a troll's calf or something to have a good idea of how well it actually does. Took out some of them. Golly, almost took out me. Goodness. Wow. At just a little farther away, it does significantly less damage. It hisses at us. What could that mean? Oh, flubbed that entirely. I was trying to get a spell parry off, but... Well, took care of him. And he was guarding this Kaku sigil with the lattice work behind it, which honestly feels... That lattice work, I just realized that's a symbol of Radigan, but... Huh. I mean, not that exact lattice shape, but anyway, here's Lusat. Very similar in shape, but blue flavored. He's got a big old orb instead of a pillar head, so let's chat with him. And he holds out his hand. You can tell he's been doing a lot of thinking lately. But he gives us Stars of Ruin, which was way too powerful when the game first came out. It's like my Star Shower, but I think it fires 12 bolts really quickly. They nerfed it by making it track not as hard, making it almost worthless for PvP. But Star Shower still does very well. The projectiles home very hard, even though they move a little slower. Alright, so let's take a look at that new sorcery we got. Legendary sorcery devised by Lusat, Primeval Sorcerer. Fires 12 dark shooting stars that pursue the target. This sorcery can be cast while in motion. Charging increases potency. When Lusat glimpsed into the primeval current, he beheld the final moments of a great star cluster, and upon seeing it, he too was broken. So I love how they imply you've already read the Common Azur description. Because Common Azur, or Azur, he was left both bewitched and fearful of the abyss, and then he too was broken. Kind of funny how they go hand in hand. Well, let's go talk to Selen now that we've made that advancement. Hopefully we can finish this quest. There's not a whole lot left of it.
My apprentice, give me a moment later. I have a favor to ask.
About the request.
The form you see before you is merely a projection. My body lies elsewhere. But the Academy's shackles prevent it being moved. My body is on the Weeping Peninsula at the southern tip of the lands between, imprisoned in the ruins just down from the Church of Marika, past the plain of the Wandering Mausoleum. Can you make the journey to my body? I have something that I can only trust with you. My body is in prison. Can you make the... I have something.
Okay. And Lusat's location.
Who could have guessed? What a place to find Master Lusat. You have my gratitude. This is all your work. I am truly pleased to have you as an apprentice. And a kindred spirit. This is a mere token of my thanks. Please, take it.
And she gives us a single starlight shard.
This brings us a full step closer. The bodies of Masters Azur and Lusat can be admitted to the Academy. If only I could undo these wretched shackles. My body is in prison. Can you make the journey? I have some...
Okay. So that's all she has to say there, so let's go find her body. Because I did point that out at the very start of this playthrough, it feels like. Comparatively, the very start. Where we saw her body and could not make sense of it, and now we're finally making sense of it. Turns out we're heading to her real body. And she, in Limgrave, is just projecting. You're just projecting. But I digress. That doesn't do much at all. It was better off with the blend. There we go. Okay. I think that's all the puppets that noticed us. So we're safe to head down here. This episode's going to go a smidge long because I want to finish the quest line. So this is where we found Night Shard, I think, initially. Sounds about right. Aselian sorcery. Have all these bodies, and we have her.
My apprentice, thank you for coming. These shackles take a toll on us all. There is something I need you to look after. My primal glintstone. A star has fallen, and my fortunes waver. Someone may come for my life, and so I entrust it with you. Myself.
So, interesting. She says, a star has fallen and my fortune wavers. Funny enough, we needed a star to fall to keep Ronnie's fate a-movin' after we killed Radon. Makes me wonder if that's a saying for those who have attended the academy, that you could say a star has fallen and people will take it as a sign of a change of will, either good or bad. A change of not will, but luck, I suppose, or fortune. But we're gonna mutter Kalima quietly to ourselves, plunge our hand into her chest cavity, and withhold a particle effect. And we're gonna stick it in our pocket without another word. I do like how we have a little pocket there, a little pouch. Selen's primal glintstone. Let's take a look at that. Gross, it looks like it has blood on it, so it looks like it made a messy exit. I never noticed this first time, but do you see that shape in the center of Selen's primal glintstone? It almost looks like a fetus. And like a little head and arm, you know, how fetuses tend to look. They're, you know, little squished people, essentially. Glintstone from within the sorceress Selen's body. Seemingly half-alive blood vessels are visible within. In essence, a primal glintstone is a sorcerer's soul. If transplanted into a compatible new body after the original body dies, the sorcerer will rise again. My apprentice, do you think it distasteful? She never said that, but maybe that's a thought we got from holding it. A thought in her voice.
Thank you, my apprentice. This is my essence. Please, treat it with care. Treat it. What you hold is my very being.
So interesting how she can speak to us even though we're holding her primal glintstone. It didn't kill her. Very odd. But we're going to quit to main menu. And we're going to reload the game. And go back right where we were, because that way the scene will move forward. So we see her there, pools of blood, looks like a couple splashes of splatters. And we can't talk to her no more, but we can talk to this guy, Jaren.
I hardly expected to see the champion of the festival here, of all places. You didn't know Selen, did you? Well, whatever the case, she's dead now. Just put it behind you. She was known as the Graven Witch. Obsessed by the primeval current, countless sorcerers fell to her hand. The most dangerous mage in the entire history of Rhea Lacaria's academy.
And we know that at least two other wizards were banished, Lusat and Azur, but she's considered far more dangerous than even they.
It is strange, though. The woman, she was like a husk. Her soul already fled. I suspect Selen lives on elsewhere. I'm sure she'll turn up eventually, in another body. A sickening thought, but one that won't stop gnawing at me.
Oh dear, gnawing.
I suspect Selen, I'm sure, a sickening.
Well, she does live on, in our pocket for now. But that's okay, because we're going to go find her a body. Thankfully, we know of a special somebody. Oh, that's funny. We can see the Gelmir's hero grave. All right. Seluvis makes puppets. We know that because of his basement. Though he won't talk to us about it because we are intentionally putting off his questline as well as Ronnie's questline so that we can get multiple rewards, and I can show that off, how you can get all the rewards for multiple questlines just about. So we're going to head down here, get on our horse, go past all these wolves, and make our way to this ruin that's just barely northeast of Ronnie's Rise. Because there's this cellar we discovered. There's an illusory wall here, if you recall. Don't want you following me. There we go. I guess I didn't need to get off my horse. Oh. There we go. So get in here. The body of an omen killer. A body of a Nox monk, it looks like. A body of an archer lady. Strangely enough, the body of Theralina, who helped us with the Radon Festival. So it makes me wonder if Seluvis sent Theralina in his stead to keep an eye on myself and Blythe. She was there and she was able to heal. Kind of odd. And then here's a jar-headed fellow. Oh my gosh, I got the jar from Alexander. I don't think I ever looked at its description. I'm so sorry, Alexander. A jar that fits cleanly over the head when upturned, made with pride by Iron Fist Alexander, in a uniquely jar-like gesture of friendship, it boosts the power of throwing pot items. I need to make a consumable build at some point. And Seluvis' puppet, do not touch, yet there's nothing here, so I wonder if he puts his puppet here when out of commission. Sorry. Seluvis' puppet. No, that must be a sign of the wall here that was an illusory wall. And sure enough, here's the Selen puppet that we saw way earlier. I hate that there's a bed down here. I hate that there's a bed down here. Oh, that's creepy.
My apprentice. Just how long has it been? Thank you. You've helped me fill a new body once again. And it's truly a gem. Young and full of vigor, a snug fit for my primal glintstone. Better still, I've shed those awful shackles. Finally, I can return to the academy to expel the Karian royal family and restore the primeval current. My dear apprentice. I owe this all to you. Finally, I can return to the academy to expel the...
Yeah, that's all she has to say. So, let's go to the only Karian royal we really know about. I guess we could go chat up Ronnie, but we're going to head to the academy and see how Rennala, Queen of the Full Moon, is doing. Well, she's still here, so I assume she's doing alright. But if you exit her boss room, you'll see two glowing signs. You get to pick one. You can either be summoned to assist Sorceress Selen, or you could be summoned to challenge Sorceress Selen as an invader. So kind of interesting. Basically, you can choose to help Selen through the gold sign, or help Castel and Jaren through the red sign. Now, I think the better rewards lie with helping Selen. However, Jaren seems the most morally correct of the two. But his reward, though good, is not as good. Though helpful, it would be very helpful. So we're going to help Sorcerer Selen and regret our life choices now.
Jaren, bringer of my death. You have my gratitude for freeing me from my shackles. And I am afraid your work is done. Join the school.
I don't think I have enough,
to reflect on your mistakes.
I don't think I have enough, casting speed. Whew. Sorry, Jaren. It had to happen this way. And Selen's just there to be a chore. Witch Hunter Jaren. He has such a cool outfit. And he uses the Flamberge, and he uses sorceries. He's all the cool... Well, the Flamberge is a dex weapon, so maybe he's not that cool. But we get Jaren's set by helping Selen. Which feels bad. Let's read the description for those. Let's do him a bit of honor. Pointed, ragged hood, worn by the knight Jaren. The hood hides an aged, bearded mask. It's actually a whole metal helmet. I'll show that off in a moment. Jaren served General Radon as a guest commander, and they are said to have sworn an oath of honorable death to one another. Jaren preferred a nomadic existence, but after spending time as a guest of the Carrion Royals, he became the guest commander for General Radon. And for the first time, the restless tumbleweed would be bound by an honorable oath. And it looks like the other parts say much the same. Yep. Oh, she turned around. That's funny. But, alter garments. Whoa. Why is it blank? Do we have to equip it? Honestly, this outfit ain't so bad. I kind of like it. The Jaren hood. That must be a bug. Well. Wonder if Bach is still over here. I guess he is. Let's see if he can do it. Did I somehow miss the item? There's no way.
Bach the seamster, at your service, my lord. Ready to make adjustments to your garments.
Why is it not showing up at all?
Going, please.
That seems like a very strange bug. Well, there's an alteration where you can see its metal helmet. I'll have to figure out why it's bugging out.
Ready to make.
That's so weird.
Please.
Well, let's go back to Sorceress Selen. I'm still very puzzled by that. Hopefully that didn't remove Sorceress Selen. Nope, she's still here. So let's chat with her.
Ah, my apprentice. You've saved my skin once again. Do you see this? The Queen of Caria is no more. With the bodies of Masters Azure and Lusat returned, the Academy can hone the primeval current, so that we, fallen children of the stars, shall beam with brilliance once again. My apprentice, will you stay with us, here at the Academy? Oh, I know it's not possible. You have your own calling, to be the next Elden Lord. But do think of me, of your teacher. On the eve of your crowning, you will always be my darling pupil. Rest assured that the entire Academy will swear allegiance to the new monarch, my apprentice. Become Elden Lord.
So she has a lot of faith in us. And she's certain that while she will rule the Academy as its governor, that we will become Elden Lord, and that she'll swear fealty to us, which sounds like a pretty good deal. Having the powerful sorcerers on our side would be a great ally, especially since when we become Elden Lord, presumably Leyndell and those of the Golden Order would also have sworn fealty to us. So we would be starting off the new kingdom, the new age, amiable to one another.
Perhaps I'm jumping ahead, but here is a symbol of my allegiance and the Academy's.
The Glintstone Chris.
Do you recall what once I told you? That glintstone is the amber of the cosmos, and sorcery is the study of the stars and the life therein. When you become Elden Lord, please illuminate me. Lay bare the secrets of life which course the Elden Ring. Next time, I will be your student.
So, yet again, very promising. A kind of a happy outlook. Jaren dying, not so much, but, yeah, they seem to have reclaimed the Academy. They deposed of Renala, which is kind of sad, but let's take a look at that Glintstone Chris, which I'll need to incorporate into the inventory, along with the Prelate's Inferno Crozier. God, we're so close. We only need 3 more strength to one-hand that sucker. I'll figure it out off-screen, don't worry. Glintstone Chris. Ritual blade once presented to Leyndell by the Academy of Raya Lucaria to celebrate their newfound peace. So, the item already has a history of uniting the two cultures. Though the weapon is embedded with a precious glintstones and features Erd Tree ornamentation, the undulating blade is symbolic of an ancient ritual. And it has a glintstone dart. Not a glintstone pebble, but dart. A skill that builds from the Glintstone Pebble sorcery. Charge the skill to upgrade it to Glintstone Dart. So uncharged, I presume it's Glintstone Pebble. Follow up with a strong attack to chain this skill into a lunging thrust. And I don't think we can use it in here. No, we can't. I will step just outside to show it off, and then we'll step back in. We're already running long, might as well show it off to its fullest extent, but it's a nice little dagger, has 110 critical rating, primarily an intelligence and dex weapon, but the int part helps this, where it shoots almost a comet, and then it has a very far-reaching lunge. So I'll definitely be upgrading this, because it'll be a nice little sidearm, so that we can have a big blast sorcery without needing to expend a spell slot. And if we do a little one, it's Pebble. It's bigger than Pebble. I don't have Pebble on anything else, but Pebble's a little stream of an attack. And that's a lot bigger, and then when we charge it, it's almost Comet-sized. Maybe Comet Shard. Well, let's go talk to Selen one last time. Does she have anything else to say?
Oh, one last thing. If you fail to claim your throne, you can always pay me a visit. Oh, don't fret. Even my dullest pupils will always have a place here.
Okay, first off, we have like 42 intelligence. That's not bad. That's better than most people get in their whole lifetime. We're a pretty gifted sorcerer, all things considering, at this point in the game. And we're only going to get stronger. I'm just holding on to a huge slew. Oh, we can study sorceries. We can get Shard Spiral from her, which is really good in combination with Comet against other players. So what you do is you send this at your enemy first, and then you click to your next spell, which is Comet, and you cast that, because they'll be expecting a sorcery by the speed, with the speed of Shard Spiral, which is relatively slow. And so either they'll roll early or they'll just try to avoid it, and then you can catch them with Comet, which moves really fast and hits really hard. So it's a really good delayed spell. And if they even dodge Comet, because they see it coming, the chances are that Shard Spiral will come after them shortly after, given its slow speed, even though you cast it first. So fires twin projectiles that form a spiral as they travel. This sorcery can be cast repeatedly and while in motion, charging enhances potency. A sorcery of the Carlos Conspectus, the most venerable of the Academy. This was the product of a failed attempt to create a new comet. So they tried to create a new comet, and they ended up creating two little spinning comets instead, or little shards. Kind of cute. Well, let's sit down at the Grace and hope all goes well. Renala's back. Renala is back. She was not thwarted.
Art thou now assured of thy want? Be not, I would birth thee.
She has nothing new to say. And then, oh no, here is a graven mass. Oh no. And here we find the witch's glintstone crown. Let's take a look at that. One of the glintstone crowns bestowed upon Rhea Lucaria scholars whose pursuits were deemed worthy increases intelligence and arcane to the detriment of stamina. So if you're doing an int arcane build, which is a thing, there's a staff that we'll get later that scales with those, and it's not a bad idea. There's some pretty neat combinations you can do with that. This gentle-looking crown was granted to a scholar who excelled in her studies, which also merited the title of witch. So maybe witch wasn't always a negative connotation to the Rhea Lucarian Academy. But here's a graven mass, much like we've seen. We see the Lazuli glintstone crown in there. We see the Carlos and the Olivinus in there as well. And I don't think we can see it presently. There it is, here in the back. And I don't think this one is present on the others, but there is her glintstone crown right there, the lady's face. But we can talk to this mass. Let's see what it has to say.
My... friend...
And we can study sorceries from her. I never bought Shard Spiral, so it's good that's still available. So it seems that all of her dreams of wanting to learn from us when we became Elden Lord, the Alliance, was all for naught. She was thwarted. What do we know about graven masses? Well, we do have a talisman that we can look at. So let's do that. There it is, Graven School Talisman. A talisman depicting a school of Graven mages, the nightmare of the academy. The primeval current is forbidden tradition of glintstone sorcery. To those who cleave to its teachings, the act of collecting sorcerers to fashion them into the seeds of stars is but another path to scientific inquiry. So it seems she wanted to combine herself. I wonder if she attempted to combine herself with Lusat as well as Azur, and this happened. But she didn't actually depose of Renala, which makes me think somebody came in here and saved Renala. We did use one of Seluvis's puppets. Did Seluvis tell Ronnie that we had stolen a puppet and that the Graven Witch would be making a return to the academy? Did Ronnie save her mother for a brief period of time until Selen had deposed of herself? Couldn't tell ya. But Renala is fine in body. Her mind has, of course, long gone. And now Selen has met a poor end. So either Selen dies because you helped Jaren kill her, and Jaren will give you a item. I will show what Jaren has to say at the end of his quest or at the end of the quest line at another point in time. Probably at the end of this, I'll probably cut to another character, honestly. Yeah, okay. And then, yeah, Selen took care of herself, unfortunately. So all of that was but a dream. But now, if you make your way to Primeval Sorcerer Azur, his chair is gone, he's gone, and you get his crown, robe, and manchettes, which embed little bits of glintstone in your arm along with bandages. So we can take a look at that. Crown of Azur, Primeval Sorcerer, set with a prominent blue-green glintstone. This crown replaces Azur's brain and skull altogether. Ooh. I guess that's the wisdom of stone. And now removed from his body is all but dead. What power remains within raises the potency of Azur's primeval current sorceries at the cost of additional FP consumption. And let's see, a robe reserved for Grand Masters of the Academy of Rea Lucaria, corroded by blue-green glintstones. Since the Grand Masters Azur and Lusat were driven from the Academy, no one has achieved their formerly held rank. And let's see. Azur had reached a near-organic state, and they had no leggings or pants to speak of. And now we can head back to Celia Hideaway, where this episode's going way too long. But that's the detour we take. That's what we suffer for. What kind of damage does this do? Standard and piercing. Maybe I need something that does a bonk. Maybe that would work better. Gonna go as fast as we well can. Oh, I got hit by the last one. So close. The big old brick hammer. I like this thing. Is it good? No, there's better hammers, but I like the way it looks, so here we are. Jumping across the way. Trying to go quick. Episode's already too long as is. It's probably going to get a bit longer when I record the other footage I mean to. There you go. Sorcerer down. And now we can collect Lusat's set. Which also comes with the leg wraps, so I guess you get one leg wraps for both sets. Let's take a look at that now. Yeah, it says almost the same thing, but it says Lusat in place of it. Just different colored glintstones. Both glints the primeval current. And the old sorcerer. Ragged waistcloth that extends to the thighs. Common amongst old-fashioned sorcerers. Well, that's it for episode 88. I will likely be putting this little snippet at the end. Hey, Future Gunches here. We're gonna show off what happens in the quest line if you help Jaren instead of Selen. So here we have the two signs on the ground. So let's get to it. We'll help Jaren out and see how that goes for us. And Selen's already casting
Selen,
spells at the floor. She's just
Graven
rabid.
Witch, enemy of Caria. I vow this time.
So he
to
has a
crush
dialogue
both
this
your
time.
Frame and your primal glintstone. I am Jaren, bringer of your death. Do not forget.
It's kind of anticlimactic. But hey, Jaren needed a little help with her, so we were there to tip the scales in his favor. And so, of course, Renala's here. We get Selen's bell bearing, as well as the glintstone crown for her. So we get that anyways. We miss out on the glintstone Chris. That's what we miss out on. But as you exit the hall, we find Jaren here where he left his sign. So let's see what he has to say.
My thanks for the aid given. Always a pleasure to witness the festival champ put on a display. You've helped me fulfill an old promise. This is the least I can do for you. Please, take it.
He gives us an ancient dragon smithing stone, which is our first one so far by the looks of it. Or it would be had we chosen this path on the main Lorethrough character, Seekhelm. So let's take a look at that really fast and see what it has to say. Smithing stone made by polishing a golden gravel stone, a scale of the ancient dragon lord and hidden treasure of Farah Mazula. Strengthens armament plus 25. So this is like a Titanite slab in the previous games. It's the final piece you need to finish upgrading an item. The ancient dragon lord's seat is said to lie beyond time. This stone lightly twists time, allowing the creation of a weapon capable of slaying a god. So it seems if you want a tool to slay a god, you gotta twist time just a little. Just a smidgen.
Well, I must be leaving now. Brave warrior, if the fates deign it. Though, we shall indeed meet again at the next glorious tourney.
So that's nice of him.
Well, if the fates...
And, I think you can kill him here to get his outfit, but you still miss out on the glintstone Chris. We're gonna be evil. We're gonna try it. Let's see if we get it.
Very well. A menace.
Sorry, Jaren.
E.g. beware.
Ooh. Yep. So you can get his armor. So if you want the smithing stone and the armor, that's what you do. If you want the Chris and the armor, you do the other path. Either way, you get Selen's hat, so no big worry there. All right, let's head back to the main playthrough. See ya. All right, that's it for today's episode, episode 88. Thank you for joining me. Tune in for next time, 89, where we make our way to the Gelmir's Hero Grave and hopefully beyond. Thank you, and bye-bye now.